everyone, today I've got my Mank movie review. Set during the 1930s in a time for a screenwriter to finish Citizen Kane, is this a movie one for the ages? As far as the story goes, David Fincher returns to direct a movie for the first time in 6 years. That's right, since Gone Girl. This is his latest project, now available to watch on Netflix, and I have to say, I was immediately attracted to this movie from the first trailer that I saw because of the old-fashioned black and white filming style, and it really does have an appeal with that, and I feel like movies made nowadays in black and white actually I have grown to love, and I don't know why that is. I think it's just because it's finally now becoming a staple that is coming back, and it's just now a trend in Hollywood. And it worked for a movie like this where you are transported to this era in Hollywood, and it made this movie look very authentic, and I really did want to see more from this movie. And the story itself is one I'm not too familiar with because I had not actually seen Citizen Kane, but hearing about this rights feud between Mank and Orson Welles, who was the director of Citizen Kane, was one that played out on screen in this long, drawn-out sort of way, and how you get to see how, you know, the studios were handling this whole predicament too. And when Fincher uses several flashbacks to further tell this story, I felt like there wasn't much consistency with the tone of the movie, because sure, some things seem more dramatic one minute and then comedic the next. So I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. And despite it all being, you know, a sort of history lesson for viewers familiar with the creation of Citizen Kane or not, as well as anything, you know, else that was going on in the world during that time period was also, you know, brought up in this movie. And I will say, I think things make more sense when you have seen the movie of Citizen Kane, so then everything going on in this movie, there might have been things that sort of parallel that movie that are here. Have you seen Citizen Kane? What did you think of it? In here, the story also spends its time focusing on political commentary as well as the social climate of that time, and I feel like that's all still relevant today. As far as the casting goes, obviously the main reason I personally wanted to see this movie was for the acting alone, the star of the show being Gary Oldman, who plays Herman J. Mankiewicz, and he's the writer of Citizen Kane in a role that I feel like he really transformed in. But I mean, it's really no surprise because I feel like he gives it his all in pretty much every movie role I've ever seen him in. And he plays this alcoholic as well, and I feel like it's very impressive when you seem to hang on every word that comes out of his mouth, and especially during this one monologue scene. I feel like he does quite a few of them, and I feel like that's the result of a well-done script. And you could also be seeing some conflicts he has with others, as well as the drinking habits. So I just think, you know, he was really brilliant. I would not be surprised if I saw an Oscar nomination or even a win for this role. And even the supporting cast was pretty impressive as well. Amanda Seyfried plays Marion Davies, who's this actress who's also a breath of fresh air. I think she definitely did a really good job in this movie, and I feel like it's one of her best roles to date, as well as Lily Collins and even Charles Dance were pretty good as well in this movie. And even I have to give it up to Tom Burke, who plays Orson Welles. I think he did a pretty good job at embodying this, you know, person. And so the things that I liked about this movie was that The other reason why I was really looking forward to seeing this movie was because of the cinematography. I thought this movie was beautifully shot. I mean, not only was it in black and white, but it had very impressive edits and these technical details that sort of make it look like, you know, a movie that was made back in the day, which adds to the authentic nature and feel of the movie. But I also knew as soon as I heard the musical score of this movie, I said, okay, this has to be Trent Reznor, who also worked with David Fincher in the past, as well as Atticus Ross, collaborating with him. And it's kind of also in the same boat with, you know, how authentic, like, everything sort of was made to feel like this old-timey movie. And it worked so well with each scene that played out. And the production design and the art direction just proves that Hollywood really can Hollywood. And they really pulled it off nicely. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that at times it was very slow moving, and I know that's going to be a huge turnoff to people who may not want to see this movie altogether, and it kind of made it boring to watch, and I was really disappointed that I was going to be bored at all, especially when it seemed like the story was, you know, repeating itself and not really going anywhere at all. So overall, I would say that I still thought that this was a very impressive movie. I think it may be one of my best this year. I don't know if I'm going to make a top 10 just yet, but if I do, you might end up seeing this movie on the list, and I don't know, I think I might actually end up seeing it again. It definitely has this rewatch value where I do want to see more, but I also want to go back and watch Citizen Kane. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie, and I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Mank, and as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.